Prev, you are very dark. Is that on purpose or?
No, as I told you, it's the wrong camera. The right camera isn't working for some reason.
Okay. Well, it's okay. I mean, we'll make sure people know that's you. Right.
Yeah.
So how was everybody's weekend? And I mean, you know, the world of sports, everything is all around McGregor and Mr. Mayweather Jr. there.
I disagree, but that's what everybody wants to hear.
I mean, there's some U.S. Open going on. I mean, you know.
Yeah, you know.
I'm just catching up to some U.S. Open right now. I was watching Madison Keys go at it tonight, and I was trying to figure out why she gave Serena a little bit of problems earlier, but I forgot the girl is 5'10".
Nope.
She is.
Yeah,
she
my weekend was good. Did anybody watch the fight?
Well,
yes.
I watched y'all talk about it online. That's about it.
Oh.
Okay, so you know how watch it, right?
I was at a fight/birthday party, or birthday/fight party, however you want to put it.
Fight party.
I didn't have any.
Did you get your wings? That's all I want.
Watching.
I got my wings. I got my wings. There was some good pasta salad in the building. There was some mac and cheese. There was some potato salad.
Everybody don't make good potato salad. Everybody don't make good potato salad.
Exactly.
Everybody does not, but you know, this was a good country black girl in the kitchen that made the potato salad.
I was about to say, was this Kroger or?
No, it was homemade.
Sam's?
It was homemade.
I don't know. The worst potato salad I ever had in my life came from a country person.
That's my point, Trev.
That's my
point.
Everybody ain't able.
Tell them right. Preach.
Everybody ain't
well,
able.
You know, you can't. But you should be able to look at.
Bruh.
You should be able to look at potato. Typically, you can look at potato salad.
It didn't look good either.
Look good. See,
look good. Didn't smell good.
There's two side dishes.
At that point, you need to be like, okay, I'm not going to get that.
There's two side dishes you can look at and tell right off the top it's not going to taste good. And that's potato salad and macaroni and cheese. You can look at those and be like,
every time.
Nah, that's some kind of grated new blue cheese you got on that thing.
Yeah.
That's for real.
Every time. Like, I still don't understand the phenomenon of white potato salad. Where I'm like, there's no color in this. What am I supposed to do?
Well, speaking of white potato salad, we can talk about McGregor. Because I'm just saying. Look, first of all, let me just put this out there right now, because everybody, y'all that know me, I never have a problem with anybody making money off of schemes and concepts and the media and the system. If you beat the system, you can beat the system. So first thing I'll say is get your money, Mayweather, get your money, McGregor, because it was some money to be made, and they did it. Now, as for the fight, that's a whole nother story. I'll let y'all take that one. I mean, Previn, you talked about it a little bit. I mean, what's your take on it?
Okay, I didn't have any real intention of watching it because I got Facebook did not allow me to avoid it. I mean,
especially with free live free.
We don't tell anybody. We don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Free. I didn't say who it came from. I just said it popped up somewhere.
Yeah, it popped up like every other feed.
It was just there.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
It was.
I was tagged on posts. I mean, what am I?
Look, I got the message.
I have notifications.
Yeah.
It told me to look. So I look.
Hey, we didn't have any choice, did we? We couldn't. I mean, what did they expect? What did they expect us to do? Not go on Facebook? Right. So yeah. Actually, I watched it twice. I watched it the first time at somebody's.
I'm sorry.
Hey, put your wife's money away.
Mayweather gave me this, man. I was.
Oh, you was on the money team?
This fell out his shoe.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I watched it twice. I watched it twice. Once on somebody's live feed, then the next day I watched it again, and I did my usual turn the sound off, which kind of makes a tremendous. Now, here's the thing. Unlike most other times where you watch a fight and a guy looks worse the second time around, this time I was able to kind of get a better view of what McGregor was doing. Now, what I'll say is the plan was effective to be off rhythm, to be awkward, to give some sort of weird hybrid stance, and continually flick the jab. The problem is, and it was clear because he didn't actually have any boxing trainers, those was the MMA guys. The best dressed corner I've ever seen in my life, I will say that. Yeah.
Laid. That was laid. Yes,
yeah,
you were.
But I will say this. It was clear from about the second, third round that they hadn't actually had any conversations with people that trained for boxing. And when McGregor started walking backwards, I knew he was going to have some problems because walking straight backwards actually can wear you down really fast. Walking straight backwards and trying to fight at the same time, there's a reason why most guys are really, really bad at it. And when you're walking straight backwards and then when you're missing a bunch of punches and you're probably a little too bulky to be fighting at that weight and, you add all those things up. And then you get into the actual boxing aspects of it. People going on about his conditioning. Well, what about his conditioning? Well, wouldn't none of us last 10 rounds of McGregor either. But the point is,
right?
No, he wasn't set up. And you can't just do that in 6 months. We already knew that. So,
right.
But then you got all the people say, well, he really put up a great fight for 10 for no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No, he got knocked out.
He did.
No, well,
Call it TKO, but still.
Yeah, but I mean,
he was clearly gassed, and he was clearly, he did the best he could with what he had, but he was clearly a fish out of water.
Yeah, let's face it, Floyd, with the sound down, looking at it, he looked like a 40-year-old guy that hadn't fought in 2 years. He didn't look like Floyd Mayweather. Nobody's really saying that, except for McGregor. McGregor said he was a little slow. I was like, yeah, he was slow for Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He was fast for Conor McGregor, but he was slow for Floyd Mayweather.
Now, I will say at the fight party that I was at when we were watching it, there were actually several people that were, especially in the first 2-3 rounds, that kept going, what's wrong with Floyd? And, and one guy was like, he's old.
He's old.
And
I want y'all to keep going because I know what I'm about to say after y'all finish.
And so they were having this debate back and forth, and it's like, but he's still well conditioned and all that. And I was like,
he's still old.
He's still old. And I said, and what we all know, I said, or anybody that watches any type of sport, Father Time is undefeated. It gets everybody. It is undefeated. It gets absolutely everybody. Doesn't matter. They're like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. I'm doing this. All of those good things. And you're like, yeah. Oh, you say I'm 40. Whew, don't recover like I used to. And dancing around the ring takes a lot more energy than at 40 than it did at 32. Or even 39 for that matter. Father Time is undefeated. And while Floyd was still the best conditioned dude in the ring, it was obvious that he was not, as Prev said, the Floyd Mayweather of old. He wasn't the same guy.
No, he was definitely the Floyd Mayweather of old.
But not of old as in, like throw it back Thursdays. He wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy.
Boy, he threw it back to last Thursday, maybe.
So, Rod, go ahead. Hello?
No, go ahead. I
was gonna say that, Rod. You did you want to get some of this too? What was your take on what you heard?
I'm listening to the experts because, like I said, I couldn't contribute my bandwidth on that. So
I understand.
I was rooting for the asteroid to hit.
So you guys talk about Floyd being old. Yeah, that's probably true. Talk about Father Time not undefeated. That's probably true. McGregor being awkward, trying some old awkward craziness, and really, not really being
actually a pretty good idea.
No, it probably was.
It's better than him bull rushing him the entire fight.
Yeah, but I'm tend to lean on and just run me out of the screen if you want to. I'm going to lean on conspiracy. It is very convenient, very, very convenient how well McGregor looked early and how bad he looked.
But
late.
I couldn't say he looked well.
Let me finish, because
I'm letting you off the screen.
Yeah, you did, but I didn't go anywhere. So you ain't been here a few weeks. But I'm just saying, it was very convenient. When I say look good relative to people that don't know boxing. Because we all know that a lot of folks think that people are trying. First of all, let's make this point. A lot of people are trying to justify the point of why they paid for it. Oh, he looked great. It was such an entertaining fight. Man, get out of here.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
You knew your money was going to be wasted when you watched it. Stop trying to make a case for you to spend that $100 or split it. Even if you split it 20 ways, that's still $5 that I could put and get me a snack. So anyway.
There was more I could do with my time.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, it's very convenient that how this thing played out, and I think it's more fitting to think about it from this perspective, because I think this is how we all thought it was going to play out. It played out to the point of McGregor looking okay, Floyd not playing, but entertaining us for X amount of rounds, and then at one point just tagging him at will. And the way it plays out, you can come up with whatever reason you want, how you want. You can dress this up how you want it, because the way that they schemed it out, in my opinion, gives everybody a chance to talk about it from every perspective, because it wasn't a domination, it wasn't an abomination, but everybody knew Floyd was going to win. It was just a matter of time when he was going to win. And I think he dictated that more than anything. Like, McGregor was
not a knockout artist.
Right.
But I would have found it far more entertaining had he actually knocked McGregor out.
That's what I'm getting to. It was very convenient how the ref stopped the fight. And, we don't want you to get no more damage.
I was there for the, did he get knocked down? And kind of, because I actually had to wait for the replay, because two of the dudes that were at the party for some reason felt like their parents were glassmakers. And as you know, it's getting good, if you will. They step in front of the TV, and I'm like, hey, and they basically just assume that because there were women, you're not really here to watch the fight. No, I'm really here for this, and could you move? There was legitimately somebody there that right before the fight started, he was like, Floyd's gonna lose tonight.
Why didn't you call me? Because I needed some extra cash to help fix this wall.
I couldn't get myself together.
Because the person that said that probably didn't have the money to bet you, Pete.
Yeah, you're right.
If they're making life decisions that allow them to let statements like that forth, they probably don't have a lot of money anyway.
That's the same cat that's mad that other NFL players aren't kneeling right now for Colin Kaepernick. That's the same dude, ain't it?
Like he said that with so much passion and conviction. And like so much so that somebody else actually was like, you might be right. This could be the biggest upset ever. And and then other people in the room, people that don't really know anything about boxing, were like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Like one of the chicks, she's like, I'm just here because there's food and
there's wings.
Right, she was like, there's food and cake, and that's why I'm here. And I'm sure that Floyd Mayweather is gonna win. So I mean.
Wings are for winners. But
about, was it the fourth, maybe sixth round, where McGregor was getting, I guess, noticeably tired, and dude started throwing the hammer punches over in the back of Floyd's head.
And how many times did he grab him? He kept doing that and grabbing him like that.
And he wrapped him up. But did you see when he threw his knee?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I did.
He threw it. And I'm like, nobody's going to say anything about him going MMA on Floyd Mayweather.
He did do that.
A lot of people were waiting and hoping he would do that.
But it was so funny because the one time he spun around, like he walked up to him and he did like this, and he literally slid and spun around and grabbed him. And I was like, I'm not even going to take him down.
Right. I
was like, what's about to happen?
Because when he did that, I was like, is he getting ready to pick him up and throw him over his back?
Somebody even said they grabbed him so they can have a conversation. Like, when you want me to go down, dog? Eighth now? Eighth? Okay, break it up. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, man.
mean, it was bad.
Dude taking pictures, smiling in the corner. Come on, man. This is a joke all the way. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, it was a joke, which is why at first I had no intention of watching it, but Facebook made me do it. The narrative.
Damn tag.
I mean, we know the narrative of this was driven.
The book made him do it.
Yeah.
The Facebook.
But I think, Prev, the other thing too about this whole thing was like, okay, live like this. Floyd, everybody, when somebody thinks about Floyd, they always think about, like, you can think about a couple things. You can think about all the trouble he got in, and he's not a great person, and all this other crazy stuff he's doing. And then you can think about him as the boxer. He's, 50-0 and whatever, how you want to call it, and all these other things. But it's funny how you made this point to me when we was talking earlier about certain people were watching the fight strictly because they wanted, for all the reasons they watched the Floyd fights before, they wanted to see Floyd lose.
95% of the paying customer base, 98% of the paying customer base was paying to see Floyd Mayweather lose.
Right. And
I got in front of a camera on First Take and said, I will beat Floyd Mayweather like he stole something, somebody will immediately start placing bets.
Right.
Because he's not a likable guy.
He's not. And he knows this, and he has made however many hundreds of millions. I don't know how much he still got, but he has made however many hundreds of millions of dollars, knowing most of this country and a good percentage of the rest of this round earth despises him, and that they would slit their own grandmother's throats just to see him lose.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. We haven't seen anything like this. We haven't seen nothing like this since Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Previn Ice Water.
I mean, but he's telling the truth, though. He's telling the truth. And I think the thing is, the one point I wanted to make, too, is I was talking to somebody. I said, it's interesting how we go about guys that are like boxers and these MMA fighters and even football players, right? Even a few basketball players. And I tell people all the time, I was like, you do know that the majority of these guys that are stars like the Floyd Mayweathers and, people like McGregor, you'll be like, oh, he's such a bad person and he's not educated, these stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, because most of the educated people are doing podcasts and not fighting MMA. I mean, like most
they're
of us
overweight,
actually
podcasts,
doctors and lawyers and engineers and
yelling for their children to go to bed. That's what they're doing.
We're parenting. We're not in the boxing ring because these dudes, I mean, I give them credit. Some of them came from the street, came literally from the street. But a lot of these guys are rough around the edges. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for some of the stuff that Floyd and these guys have done, but most of these guys aren't going to be relatively good guys. And that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, everybody is not Crawfish Shorts and Peyton Manning. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just
not everybody is Muhammad Ali.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, you got to take it for what it's worth. You're still paying the money to go see the gladiators fight. This is one of the oldest professions in the history of man. Watching the gladiators fight.
That's just it though, Pete. We're not worried about, are they teaching Sunday school or whatever.
Right.
A good percentage of the country is worried about, you know what? I'm going to pop my $50, my $80, however much it is, to see these two dudes beat each other to death.
That's it.
And whatever. I don't care anything else about what you put in the community. I don't care about your family. Entertain me for the next couple of hours.
The E word. There it is.
And that's what I tell people all the time when folks take this obscure moral high ground on entertainers, athletes and stuff, and he's not a good person and he's done. I'm like, well, listen, we're not inviting him over for Sunday dinner with the family.
Right. He's not dating my daughter.
Are you trying to justify your R. Kelly collection?
Absolutely not. but let me be clear. I don't care what y'all say. When R. Kelly was first up on them charges, let me deviate for a moment and sidetrack here. Y'all know that the Chocolate Factory, the best of both worlds, and R. Kelly's greatest hit, that was the hottest. Everything he touched those 2 years was hot. Everything he produced those 2 years prior. That man was like, oh my God, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. I'm going to pay some lawyers to get me off.
You sound like...
Because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you must know, I still had a chocolate factory in the house. Didn't give away the Kelly CD.
And just like you had that, there's plenty of people that paid for that fight for whatever reason because they keep it. I'm like, y'all know what flow it is. Y'all know kind of.
Now, granted,
we didn't say this a few times. There's a special place in hell, possibly for that man right now, waiting for some of the stuff that he does. There's a very, and I am not judging. I'm just telling the truth. He better get. He got a chance to turn it around right now. You better do something quick.
You better open a shelter in Houston or something with all that money.
Don't get on Joe, man. Don't get on Joe, man. Don't get on Joe.
But here's the thing. People don't want to, especially in this great PC world that we used to live in. It's not really PC anymore. I don't know where
PC plus media now.
But I'm not really sure what we're doing now. But before, in this great PC world that we live in, everybody wants to be the good person. Everybody wants to have the high ground. Everybody wants to have some sort of moral conviction about things. Listen, I go to watch football. I go to watch boxing. And what I'm here for is to watch somebody get their ass kicked. That's what I paid for.
So let me ask this question. So does McGregor fight again?
MMA, sure.
I'm talking. Okay, specifically, let's go with MMA.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
How many times?
I think.
I was thinking the amount of money to be made. I'm almost thinking he would want to fight again. I'm just real curious at what he's going to ask for at this point because he's made it very clear.
Yourself, well, hold on.
He's going to raise the price. He made it clear. He told Dana right in that press conference, "I'm raising the price." So
for MMA.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine because he will probably get it. The thing about it in boxing is, who is it that he can fight that he's going to get close to six figures? Because currently,
nobody.
It won't happen.
Nobody but Floyd.
No, I don't think. No, I'm just more thinking about the amount of money he just made. He just tripled his net worth. I was almost in the mindset of he may fight one more time just to say, "Hey, thank you, MMA," and then ride off into the sunset and be on.
Oh, that could happen. But that still counts as one more MMA fight.
No, I get that. No, I was just asking. I was just saying.
Yeah, I think he fights MMA one more, at least once more.
One more, because I was thinking.
2 more.
You give him 2 more? I just can see
him do it again.
Going back and forth with this money thing now, and they've already kind of went down that road before.
But the thing is, who does MMA have other than Conor? Because thoughts and prayers to Bones Jones.
Yeah, we talked about that prayers.
Who else?
Prayers of president.
Brock ain't coming back no time soon. Plus, that's
prayers to president.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
I think he had to do something with the little people.
Oh, boy. There you go. Get some wings, and make sure everything is straight.
Yeah, there have to be some wings. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of wings, football. So who gonna win it all? We going with the Patriots? Is it the Patriots or the field?
I'm going with the field.
I'm going with the field. You know me.
I'm going with the field.
Is there somebody in the field
strictly on Father Time is undefeated.
Tom Brady about to fall off?
Going with the field.
You think Brady about to fall off?
Listen, like I said, Father Time undefeated.
Well,
and, because everybody's like, well, Brady wants to play. What do you say? He want to play until he's 45?
45.
Him and Drew Brees said they wanted to play till they're 45.
Right. They was like, want to play till I'm 45. And although Drew Brees takes way more hits than Brady, because, one of my coworkers was, his whole thing about Brady actually being able to make it. He's like, but nobody ever hits Brady. And I'm like, well, they do. And they only really need to hit him once.
In
the right way.
Well, you only need to hit anybody once.
But you only got to hit him once the right way. And he's done. So, because that's what happened before. And then they, came up with all the rule. You can't fall around the quarterback's feet when he, tore his knee and all that other good stuff. So we got the Brady rule in place. But you can hit him.
A couple of rules.
I would suggest, though, that team still won 11 games that year when he got put out. But
He did because it's a great system.
I was about to say, it sounds like a system to me. He's a good
It is
quarterback.
a fantastic system. And let's not dispute it. However, I'm still going with the field.
I mean, logic will tell you to go with the field. I mean, it's football. But at the end of the day, I'm just tired of these critics. And now Julian Edelman is out for the season. And oh my God, they'll figure it out. They will
figure it out. What were they doing before Julian Edelman?
Instead of that pass going, we'll throw it to Cooks and we'll throw the other pass to Gronk. Okay,
they still got Amendola.
They still got players.
And let's face it,
but they only got Chris Hogan. 6 games because he's going to get hurt.
Well, but it seems like he gets hurt
You can settle by that guy.
But it seems like he gets hurt when they play the Jaguars, the Jets, the Bills, teams that don't matter. That's when he's hurt. When he's
when they play in division.
Amendola's there. When they play the Dolphins, Amendola's there.
You're right. When are the playoffs? Amendola's there. He's gonna miss it.
The bigger question for the Patriots is never how good the Patriots are. The bigger question is how bad is the division?
Is the rest of the division?
Because the Dolphins is the only shot, and now I get Previn's woes. I'm not even gonna say woes because I never actually had a problem with Jay Cutler because I always roll with Previn. Who else you gonna get? Because there's a lot of people you can go get, and there's a lot of people that you really don't want to go get. You might as well just try to figure him out, ride him as much as you can, and then
get the next Blake Bortles.
That's my point. But my point is the Dolphins is your only shot because the Jets, I mean, they're done. The Bills traded half of their team away. So
what's the name of the coach? What's the name of the coach of the Jets? Did you hear
Bills his? Are still making trades.
Did you hear his conversation?
Somebody yesterday.
Bowles.
Yeah, Bowles. Did you hear what he was talking about when? You talk about hearing a man that's just already given up. They said, "Well, who's going to be the backup?" He said, "I don't know."
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Todd Bowles, look. Todd Bowles would be like, "How come y'all just didn't fire me in December like you should have?"
Right. Now he's got to hang out. He'll get fired.
They did him dirty, man. They did him like Ty Willingham, man. He can bring that dude in and then don't get that man any players. And then he can't win, man. They did him dirty, though, man. They did both.
Hey, their quarterback will be Christian Hackenberg.
They did, man.
This sounds like a bad video game.
But what is the Bills? What is their motivation? What are they doing?
They're doing a Philadelphia 76ers, it looks like.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Hey, I'm not a Bills fan. I don't have to trust the process. Thanks.
You asked what they were doing. Just ask what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just amazing to me. I'm just looking at these teams, man. Like that
division. I live in a town. I live near where Tyrod Taylor came out of.
Yeah,
and so there are a lot of people around here that root for Tyrod Taylor, and they're watching the Bills, and they're like, do they want him to succeed? And the answer is no.
No, they do not.
No, not at all.
They do not want to pay him.
Not at all.
No.
They do not want to pay him at all. The Dolphins, Dominican Sue came out and said that he's worried about the defense. I'm like, aren't you on the defense? Do something about it then. I mean, damn. You're talking about it. Do something. Hit somebody.
Now he's worried about the defense.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I'm a little worried. Hit somebody. Lead by example, Sue. Please, lead by example for me. Good Lord. No interviews. Let's start with that. No more interviews about how concerned you are about the damn defense. Hit somebody.
He's just trying to show you he's sincere.
Whatever. You notice that Dominican Sue ain't been right since he stopped stomping on people's chests. I need him to stomp on somebody this year so we can be like all pros. Stomp on somebody. Stomp on somebody. Just step on
anybody.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you to do it.
Sue said,
I won't pay for the fine because I'm broke, but step on somebody.
The chest, the ankles,
whatever. I don't care what he do.
Put your cleat somewhere is what you're looking for.
Step on an ankle, a toe, something. And motivate yourself, brother. Motivate yourself.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. But I'm just saying, at football, I don't even really. I mean, is the Raiders? Do we want to look at the Raiders being? I mean, how close they got last year? Are they going to be a problem for some teams?
Well, see, here's the thing: you got
if they're healthy.
Yeah, because you must say that the thing is you got Derek Carr coming off. What was it? His ACL he tore or MCL? One of them L's.
One of them L's.
Yeah, one of them L's.
He tore an L.
Yes. So he's coming back from that. And typically, unless you're Adrian Peterson, it takes you a year to come back from that type of injury. So I don't know if he'll be as proficient, as good as he was last season. If he doesn't, because, it takes them a minute to trust their knee and all of that stuff. So I think it more so depends on where he is at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And if he can stay, if he's, almost back to true form, if he can stay that way the entire season. I mean, he's got a run game now because I fully expect Marshawn Lynch to still be beast mode. Show me something different.
I was almost leaning on Father Time on Marshawn Lynch. I'm a little.
Yeah, I was like, how good is that Washington kid looking?
I think
he's well rested.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so is Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
Yeah.
But Marshawn Lynch is not 40.
Yeah, but he's old.
In football terms, he's 60.
Yeah, you gotta remember, it's like dog years for football. Yeah. Yeah, especially running backs and linemen.
However, okay, well, that's fair, but at least for the first two, 3 games, even if he's not the same old Marshawn, he's going to be one of the best decoys on the field.
No, Marshawn is going to do what he does. I just don't see it. Yeah, he's on the field. So, yeah, he'll do what he does. There's
some footage. First couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, I think the Raiders might be a contender. Steelers are going to be around. I'm done with the Bengals. They're done.
Yet Marvin Lewis still has a job.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis gonna keep that job. He got something ain't right. Something going on with that.
I'm starting to think
he's the winningest coach they've had since Sam Weiss.
Yeah, but Sam Weiss need to keep his. But Sam Weiss need to keep his job that long, Prem.
Yeah, right. They don't want to go into a repeat of what happened after Sam Weiss. We've had this conversation how many times? Is it better to be 9-7, 10-6, or perpetually 1-and? What do you want?
No.
We've had this conversation.
So, this is a sound argument, Pete. I know you were trying to make a rebuttal. You were going to come back and give the people
I'm just laughing at the fact that it's just terrible. I just feel bad.
The Bengals. They know what it's like to be 1-and every year. They know it.
Every year.
Do you really? When you're 1-and every year, when it's Achilles Smith every year, hey man, 9 wins don't sound that bad.
Not Achilles.
But honestly, though, until
Dave Klinger every year.
Last year was their 9-win thing because they've had way more than 9 wins with the last.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't win. They have a holiday named after them, coinciding with the wild card weekend.
Yes,
they do.
But that's a whole lot better than 1-and.
There was that year they made it to the division. They didn't win the wild card. They had a wild card. They had the bye week. So they were in the division.
That's true. Well, it's still Bengal. The first week that they play is still Bengal elimination week.
Cowboy elimination and Bengal elimination week.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I'm always here for Cowboy.
So the fact that Ezekiel Elliott appealed, does that mean he's gonna be able to play, or?
Well, people are talking about that they don't think he's gonna win the appeal.
Well, he's eligible to play until they make a decision on his appeal. If you'll recall, Tom Brady played an entire season while he was appealing the ruling.
I won a Super Bowl.
If you recall.
No, he didn't win in the midst of that one. He almost, but the bottom line, the next year. But that's just funny to me how you.
Yeah, he played an entire season under appeal.
That's what I'm saying. So they don't do appeal.
I thought in the beginning anyway, the suspension that they gave Ezekiel, I thought they gave him as many games as they did because in the
appeal, it was the minimum per the current.
They were going back in town. I feel like in the appeal, even if he doesn't quote unquote win the appeal and not get 0 games, I think he'll probably get a reduced amount of games.
Here's the question I would ask. If they come back and say, yeah, 4 games instead of 6, if you're Ezekiel Elliott, do you really, no, not if you're Ezekiel Elliott, do you really think they're going to be like, okay, you take 4? Or they're going to be like, no, we want none. That's
if you
the
take
real
it down
question.
to 4, then you might as well take it down to none. If I'm in Elliott's
that's
you already.
Their argument is you don't have any evidence that I did anything. You're just punishing me because the policy says I was suspect, so I have to do it. That's what that's their argument, right?
Well, no, their argument is that the prosecution didn't prosecute. But as we all know, their burden of proof is way higher than the NFL's. So, because I watched, I can't remember what I was watching something, and they were talking to one of the detectives or somebody that was going through it was over his case or investigating the case, and he was saying we didn't have enough to prosecute him and win. We didn't believe. He said, but everybody thought she was telling the truth. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that weighed in, if you will, on the suspension. That and the fact that he was on national television and pulled up Becky's shirt and exposed her boobs.
Yeah.
And played with them.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
That was
video. Yeah.
It's not a good look. Someone is, boys and girls, someone is always watching.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So,
a guy that likes to walk around showing his abs like that is surely not shy of the camera.
Well, probably not, but he might think
probably should be, but I mean,
to lift up somebody's shirt, because his argument was, well, she had done it several times. Way different from her exposing her own breasts.
Yeah,
and you exposing them.
Did she ask for your help? That's
right.
Did she require your assistance? No.
And you copped the feel.
I guess from a standpoint of the appeal, I was just curious because I couldn't remember how the rule was stated when somebody appeals, but like you say, he's eligible. But
yeah, as long as he's under, as my understanding, the way it works, as long as it's under appeal, review, or whatever, and there's been no decision made, he can play.
Plays, yeah.
So, he might play the first, depending on how long this takes, he might play the first 2-3 weeks of the season, find out he's lost his suspension and lost his case rather, and then still have to serve 6 games, and he would be out through the middle of the season, which is why sometimes you'll hear, depending on when punishments lay down, like players will all of a sudden be like, yeah, they file the appeal, and then they're like, no, I'm not going to do the appeal, because they realize
get it out of the way.
Let me get it on the front end.
Let me get them 2-3 games out of the way.
Right.
Rather than week 12 and 13, I'm gone and we're on a playoff run. So, I guess he felt like he could really win it. So he went ahead and did the appeal, because I was thinking because they did it so late that he was just going to take the 6 games. But
that's why they did it. So that's why they ran it out that late to try.
I thought they ran it out late because they ain't want to ruin Jerry Jones's day at the Hall of Fame. I thought that's why they ran it.
That's what I thought too.
Okay, I'll take that too.
They didn't want Jerry Jones out there with a mic in front of him. And
I'm here for
in front of a live mic. That's not a good.
You don't want him in front doing it. You
not
don't want
the
biggest ringleader, the greatest ringleader over the biggest circus. You do not want him on a live mic.
By the way, I went back and looked at that Hall of Fame, those speeches. I'm like, Jerry Jones, good Lord. Why they ain't stop this dude? Why they have a gong out there?
That's what you get for watching.
That was tape. That was bored. Ain't got nothing else to do. Let me go back and look at a few of these speeches.
You ain't had no socks to organize or nothing?
Nah. I just went through my receipts in my wallet. I do that all the time.
Well, see, here's where you went wrong, Steve. You didn't do this correctly. You're supposed to record it.
That's what I did.
And no, but then go to Facebook.
Oh.
See, gotta go to Facebook first to find out who was talking about what speech? Like, which speech was just great and moving?
But that's the point, Lanice. They weren't talking about any of them.
That should tell you something.
None of the speeches.
That should have told you something.
But so I went to the one character on the list, Jerry Jones.
Hey man, you didn't listen to your man
right there. You went to Jerry Jones.
Felt like as a Dolphins fan, you would have tuned in for Jason Taylor.
I love Jason.
You don't love him that much.
I was privileged to be. I mean, I listened to some of his stuff, and I was privileged actually to be at his last game, which is, the one Dolphin game I actually made it to Miami. That was his last game. That was the game.
Wasn't technically his last game with the Jets?
No, he came back.
After he left Miami, he was a Dolphin. He was a Redskin.
Yeah.
And then, didn't he do a season with the Jets?
In Miami.
He played his last season.
He went back to Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, he went back to Miami.
Yeah, he played his last season. Yeah, because it was the game that, you know what game that was? That was the game Santonio Holmes sat out the Jets. And LaDainian Thomas was on the sideline like, what are you doing, dude? Because I was there. I saw it. I saw it.
I just remember when he was stealing money from the Redskins.
Santonio Holmes walked off the field. I was
that year, everybody stole money from the Redskins.
I was like,
well, there was a good stretch for about 10 years. Everybody stole money.
I was about to say, when have they stolen money from the Redskins?
Yeah.
Remember a guy named Lavernius Coles? Anyway, gave that dude almost max money for a receiver. He was at the press conference smiling like, y'all gonna give me this money for real? Thank you. I suck. Anyway.
Look, let me sign this before y'all change your mind. Right. I'll figure out what you've done.
Well, let me ask this before we get off. So sophomore year, what's Dak Prescott gonna do? What you think? Sophomore.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about boycotting.
You're not gonna boycott. If you're gonna boycott it because you're a Bears fan. That's the only reason you boycott.
That's right.
No, actually, that would be the only team I would watch because of Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, some people drafted him in the fantasy draft. Okay.
If I was to boycott, that would be the only team I watch, which would probably invalidate my boycott. Anyway, I'm sitting on the fence. No, it's not.
No, you're not boycotting. I'm just curious.
I'm a college guy anyway.
Oh, so let's talk about college then. Forget off of Dak Prescott. So moving on to college. What about just all these Florida State? All these Florida State. We gonna go out there and whoop Alabama's butt tweets and all of this crap. And Paul Feinbaum was like, "Ooh, boy, there's gonna be a lot of tissue out there after the game when they get this butt kicking from."
I don't even like Paul, but I was on his side.
I love Paul.
That dude, his show is But don't get me wrong, I'm here for Go Noles. I'm all in. I'm cheering for you. Your Tomahawk Chop. I'm giving you all of that for the game. I'm gonna be excited if we just stay in the game.
Pour a little bit out for the Florida State fans.
But I'm just trying to.
You think it's gonna be that bad for real?
I really need an Orin on here tonight, and so we could support each other in this Noel thing.
What about? I think it's gonna be that bad for real.
Well, what about Florida State? I guess here's the thing. I know more about what Alabama's bringing than I do Florida State. So what does Florida State bring? Like, are they traditional Florida State defense, running, timely quarterback? I mean, what do they have coming into this? I mean, they are number 3, so they got something. I mean, not a number.
But we lost our stud running back, and
y'all keep those though, just like mine.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there'll be another one.
There'll be another one.
But I don't know if
his little brother, somebody's little brother,
or his big brother, worse.
Travis Minor's little brother, or there's a bunch of those out there.
But I don't know if he's there right now.
Who's the quarterback?
But
the sophomore. He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Is he all right?
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's good, and he
got the crap beat out of him.
He's gonna have to be hella good in about 5 days.
Well, listen,
really good.
I'm hoping he's better than he was last year. I mean, he wasn't bad last year, especially.
No. He spent a lot of time underneath. He spent a lot of time last year underneath defensive linemen.
Yes, because the O-line was not.
But so let's see, Alabama's usually their strengths align, and if Florida State don't have their line together,
Hey, look, like I said, let me be clear. Go Noles, Tomahawk Chop, all of that. Just trying to keep the game competitive. If I look up in the second quarter and we're not down by 50, it's a good thing.
Nah, y'all ain't gonna. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I don't
think it's gonna be that bad.
I don't think.
I could be wrong,
but I don't think it's gonna be close. I don't think it's gonna be close.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad either.
I would go like a 40-21 type thing.
Yeah,
that's the one thing about college football that I love.
Still want to tune in after the halftime. You know, like, can we tune back in for third quarter to see what we're bringing to the table? That kind of thing. You know, I don't want to look up and be like, oh, it's 28-7. Okay, let me see what.
And the defense just scored another touchdown.
Right. Like, I don't want that kind of day. That's not what I'm here for. We're just trying to keep it competitive.
But you know what?
And
that's the great thing about college football in the first 2 or 3 weeks, and at the end of the season, particularly in bowl season, where you get those hate crime type blowouts for no reason.
I'm not even.
Oh God!
I don't think. Yeah, I think.
Like, who was it that lost to Colorado State like 58-20? I was like, oh. That was on Saturday. Somebody lost to Colorado State.
Oh, this past
week? No. It was somebody.
Who was
somebody? Just this weekend, just this past weekend on Saturday, because it caught me completely off guard. Like, I wasn't ready for college football yet, and I wasn't ready to see that
Ohio
score.
Ohio State plays. I'm sorry, the Ohio State. They play Indiana. I'm like, Indiana.
The Ohio State.
What? I'm like.
That's a gaffe in scheduling right there.
That's gonna be ugly. Like
your
first game is a conference game.
A conference game.
And Indiana's like, we just gonna go on. We're gonna go 0-1. We're gonna get whipped all up and down the field. Right. 0-1. All right, what are you? 0-1? No. 0-1.
Yeah, Michigan and Florida this weekend too.
Who gonna win?
Michigan's supposed to break out the all. Michigan win.
Break out the
Florida can't score 10 points on A&T.
Pro Western. Yeah. Hey, you watch it now.
Oh God!
Oh wow!
He's going through some things.
I am. I literally am leaning on women's college basketball right now. The Lady Gamecocks.
Go with the Aggies, man.
Go with the Aggies.
I always
go with the Aggies.
I mean, that's Aggies' blood, sweat, and tears. We won it 1-10 or 10-1. I mean,
people say, "Who's your favorite college team?" A&T. No, but who's your real favorite college team?
I mean, it has to be.
I have to slap you.
The word favorite. About? If you put the word favorite in, I'm always gonna go with my blue and gold. I mean, there ain't no question about that. But
it's still A&T. What do you mean by real? Because I had somebody ask me that, and I was like, A&T.
You know what? You know who asked me that question? It's always somebody that didn't go to college. All right, I'm stopped.
Didn't go to a HBCU?
No, didn't go to college at all.
Didn't go to college at all.
They went to college online. They have homecoming online.
Yeah. So. They have homecoming when they go home.
They be like, hey, let's get a webcast together for homecoming. We all went online. Oh, wow. On that note, I gotta get out of here.
All right.
All right.
Later on.
Peace.